CR0333, State of Texas versus Travis James Mullis, unanimously finding from the evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that the answer to special issue number 1 is jury return and open court the above answers to the special issue submitted to us in the same. We, the jury, unanimously find that the answer to special issue number 2 is no. Signed, have the jury poll as to their answers to these special issues.
We do not know.
That is the order of the court and the man in custody of the sheriff.
I mean, it's almost like if you were convicted that you would want the death penalty. Is that the case?
As far as my preference, at this point, I just want, I've been sitting here 3 years and tired of arguing with it.
On July 26, 2018, Travis James Mullis was sentenced to his very end by a Galveston jury for the brutal slaying of his 3-month-old son, Elijah. Mullis, then 24, faced the ending penalty after being convicted of capital slaying earlier that year. The case shocked many due to the horrific nature of the crime. The jury's verdict came after a tense trial where Mullis's actions were laid bare. On January 29, 2008, Mullis had crushed his infant son's skull with his foot in a fit of rage because the baby wouldn't stop crying. Following the slaying, Mullis abandoned Elijah's body on the side of a Galveston Island roadside. He later turned himself in to Philadelphia police, providing both written and video confessions detailing his crime. What really happened? Travis Mullis, a 31-year-old who relocated to Alvin, Texas, and ended up on the row in 2011, has been making headlines again. Recently, he's been pushing to ditch his appeals and speed up his own ending punishment. In a letter to the Chronicle earlier this year, Mullis laid it out. "I support my ending sentence and want it carried out ASAP. I was sentenced to demise, not indefinite detention." Inmate volunteers like Mullis, who want to forego appeals and face their fate directly, make up only about 10% of cases, according to the Penalty Information Center. Mullis's journey to the row is a tragic tale of a life marked by poor choices and immense suffering. His mother passed away when he was a baby, and from ages 3 to 6, he was physically AB'd. He bounced between institutions, and, when he turned 18, his adoptive mother kicked him out. He eventually moved to Texas, settling just outside Houston with a woman he met online. By 2008, Mullis and his girlfriend were broke and homeless, so they ended up crashing in a trailer with a couple who took them in. But in January 2009, Mullis made a horrifying decision. He took the couple's 8-year-old daughter to a schoolyard and tried to pull down her pants. When the girl cried, he brought her back home but was terrified he'd get kicked out. On January 29th, Mullis drove to Galveston with his 3-month-old baby in the back seat to mull over his mess. But when the baby started crying, Mullis's panic got the better of him. He first AB'd the child and then, in a brutal act, stomped on the baby's skull until it was crushed. "I make stupid decisions, what can I say?" he admitted. "I did it on impulse and ended him right after." After fleeing to Pennsylvania, Mullis turned himself into Philadelphia police 4 days later, giving a detailed confession. During his trial, his lawyers painted a picture of him as someone who had endured immense trauma and was emotionally numb. After his ending sentence, Mullis waived his direct appeal and later state post-conviction appeal. However, he revised his federal claims until recently, citing disagreements with his lawyer about his mental health. "I'm 100% guilty of my crime. Nobody contests that," he told the Chronicle. "The fight is over. I'm accepting of my sentence. My lawyers are against the penalty for anyone." The trial was marked by significant emotional and psychological testimony. During the sentencing phase, Assistant Galveston County District Attorney Donna Cameron described Mullis as a monster, emphasizing the severity of his actions. Cameron argued that no amount of medication or treatment could address the evil within him. In contrast, Mullis's defense team, led by Robert Loper and Gerald Bork, presented a case centered on his troubled past. They argued that Mullis's life was marked by severe emotional and psychological trauma, including issues stemming from his mother's poor health during pregnancy and physical AB by his adoptive father. Bork claimed that these experiences had left Mullis emotionally numb and unable to feel empathy, suggesting that his life had been broken through circumstances beyond his control. Despite these arguments, the jury found Mullis to be a future danger to society, a crucial factor in capital cases. They also concluded that no mitigating circumstances justified sparing his life. Jurors even requested to see a hit list Mullis had written on his jail cell wall, further illustrating their concerns about his potential threat to others.
With Travis James Mullis. First off, how have they treated you here at the Galveston County Jail? Can you speak to that? And the death of his 3-month-old son.
When I first got here, you had the occasional animosity because of the high-profile situation.
Maybe as many as 23 motions to have the Texas death penalty ruled unconstitutional. Can you?
The necessary legal research to understand the reason behind the motions. I've spoken on this situation already, and I don't want the situation turning into, for lack of a better term, a dog and pony show. You make the death penalty determined unconstitutional in Harris County.
Yeah, I've read about that.
Trying to avoid all that media spectacle garbage. It's just gonna totally cloud over the issue.
How long did you spend in Texas?
I moved down here when I was 18, so
Did you go to high school?
I dropped out in 11th grade.
Okay. Can you tell me definitively that you're innocent of these charges, of these allegations? Who down here?
Mom gave me the ultimatum, get a job and get out, and I got it. The whole situation in itself, it's a complicated situation. And later on, certain things that happened that, came back into memory. But I've accepted the situation. I've also accepted the fact that just based on some of the things, like I'm in a screwed situation, so I've accepted the fact that no matter what, I'm screwed either way. If they find me guilty, I'm definitely screwed. If it's like I'm screwed if I'm win the case, I'm screwed if I lose the case. You figure?
Not without controversies. The trial was not without controversies. A juror was removed after allegedly discussing the case before deliberations, and an alternate was brought in. Despite these issues, the jury unanimously agreed on the verdict. The sentencing of Travis Mullis showed the complexities and emotional weight of capital slaying cases. It reflects the intense debate over justice and the ending penalty, particularly when the defendant's past and psychological state are considered alongside the heinous nature of their crimes. On May 23, 2024, a significant legal milestone was announced for Mullis. Mullis, who had been on the row for 13 years, is scheduled to be put down on September 24th. This decision was confirmed by Judge Jeff Jones of the Galveston County District Court, following a trial to determine the exact date of his expiry. Following his conviction, Mullis was sentenced to demise, and he has spent over a decade on row at the Polunsky Unit in Livingston. This facility is known for housing inmates who are awaiting their end, and it is from there that Mullis will be transported to the Huntsville Unit for his scheduled punishment by lethal injection.
ACR 0333, State of Texas versus Travis James Mullis, unanimously finding from the evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that the answer to special issue number 1 is jury return and open court the above answers to the special issue submitted to us in the same. We, the jury, unanimously find that the answer to special issue number 2 is valid. Signed, to have the jury poll as to their answers to these special issues.
We do not.
That is the order of the court and the man in custody of the sheriff.
The legal process leading up to Mullis's ending has been marked by numerous appeals and legal motions. The setting of the ending date follows a series of court proceedings, including a recent trial to finalize the date. On the day of the announcement, Mullis was transported to the Polunsky Unit, where he will remain until the end of his time. The date was set at the request of Kayla Allen, the Galveston County First Assistant District Attorney. Allen's push for a firm date reflects the gravity of the crime and the desire for closure for the victims' families and the community affected by the tragedy. The process has also involved extensive discussions about Mullis's mental health and his past history, which includes claims of physical AB as a child. These elements were considered in the broader context of his case, but did not alter the outcome of his conviction or sentencing.
What I understand, it's made national media at one point, so it's like I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. No, I've accepted the fact that why be scared of it? If the justice system and the jury believes that's what I deserve, then that's what it'll be. Just want the situation over with. However it turns out is however it's going to turn out.
After 3 years of thinking about it, are you afraid to die?
I'm found innocent based on the high profile of the case. It's like if I walk out of here, I'll be lucky not to get shot on sight, and then I walk out the door. Whatever happens is going to happen. There's nothing I can do about it. So
I mean, it's almost like if you were convicted that you would want the death penalty. Is that the case?
As far as my preference, at this point, I just want, I've been sitting here 3 years and tired of arguing with it.
Okay.
The sentencing of Travis Mullis showed the complexities and emotional weight of capital slaying cases. It reflects the intense debate over justice and the ending penalty, particularly when the defendant's past and psychological state are considered alongside the heinous nature of their crimes. On May 23, 2024, a significant legal milestone was announced for Mullis. Mullis, who had been on the row for 13 years, is scheduled to be put down on September 24th. This decision was confirmed by Judge Jeff Jones of the Galveston County District Court, following a trial to determine the exact date of his expiry. Defense raises concerns. Mullis's defense attorney, Peter Walker, has raised concerns about the case, particularly focusing on Mullis's mental health issues and childhood trauma. Walker argues that these factors might have played a role in Mullis's criminal behavior and has suggested that the case has not undergone a necessary constitutional review. Despite these arguments, the legal system has moved forward with the ending process, emphasizing the severity of Mullis's crime and the need for justice. The case of Travis Mullis is not only a reflection of the individual tragedy of one family, but also a wider look at the complexities of the criminal justice system and the use of capital punishment. The ending date serves as a stark reminder of the intense legal and emotional battles that accompany penalty cases. The upcoming execution is a significant event in Texas's ongoing discourse on capital punishment. It raises important questions about justice, punishment, and the ethical considerations surrounding the penalty. As the date approaches, the focus will remain on the impact of Mullis's actions and the broader implications for the legal system and the community. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you next time.